Welcome back to Too Dumb. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting and taking a closer look at the 1976 USA 1-cent coin. Is this humble penny just spare change? Or could it be worth more than you think? Let's find out. The 1976 USA 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln cent, is part of the long-running Lincoln penny series. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the penny features Victor D. Brenner's iconic portrait of Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse design showcases the Lincoln Memorial, a detail added in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely, you can even see a tiny engraving of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a fun Easter egg for collectors. In 1976, these pennies were minted in two locations: Philadelphia, which produced coins without a mint mark, and Denver, which used the D-mint mark. Combined, over 10 billion Lincoln cents were minted that year, making it one of the most common pennies ever produced. So if you find one in your pocket, you're holding a piece of American history. Did you know that 1976 pennies are made of 95% copper and 5% zinc? This composition was standard until 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched pennies and have intrinsic value as scrap metal. Now, let's talk value. In circulated condition, a 1976 penny is generally worth its face value of 1 cent. However, collectors may pay a bit more for coins in excellent condition or with unique features. For uncirculated coins or those graded by professional services, the value can rise to 10 to 25 cents. Rare errors, such as off-center strikes or double dies, can fetch even higher prices, sometimes up to $50 or more, depending on the rarity and demand. Here's a fun fact. If you have a jar of pennies lying around, you might be sitting on a small treasure. The copper content of pre-1982 pennies is often worth more than their face value, but melting pennies for scrap is illegal in the United States. So hold on to those copper coins. They're little pieces of history. By 1976, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for 67 years, evolving through design and material changes. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse of the Lincoln cent featured the wheat ears design, also created by Victor Brenner. However, in 1959, to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint replaced the wheat ears with a depiction of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro, artifact of an era when copper was still economically viable for coin production. After 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned to copper-plated zinc coins to save costs. By the mid-1970s, the Lincoln cent had become a symbol of everyday American life. It represented Abraham Lincoln's legacy as one of the most revered presidents in U.S. history. The coin was a common sight in pockets, piggy banks, and cash registers across the country. Its continued use during the nation's bicentennial year further cemented its status as an enduring piece of Americana. This rich historical background makes the 1976 1-cent coin more than just spare change. Today we're diving into the world of U.S. coins, specifically the 1988 1-cent coin, also known as the penny. Whether you found one in your pocket change or you're a seasoned coin collector, this video will give you all the details on its circulated value. Let's get started. First, let's take a quick look at the 1988 penny. This coin was minted as part of the ongoing series featuring Abraham Lincoln, who has graced the front of the U.S. penny since 1909. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the U.S. Capitol building. It's made of copper-plated zinc and weighs 2.5 grams. Now, let's talk about the circulated value of the 1988 penny. If you have one in your collection today, don't expect to make a fortune off it. In terms of circulation, the 1988 penny is worth just 1 cent. That's right, its face value. Since it's not considered rare or particularly unique, it doesn't fetch much more than its face value unless it's in exceptional condition. So, is it worth holding on to if you're a collector? Well, for a typical 1988 penny in circulated condition, the value remains at 1 cent. However, if you happen to find one in mint condition, like a brilliant uncirculated example, it could be worth a bit more. RO. Payout. There are a few factors that can slightly increase the value of the 1988 penny. For example, if you find one with a minting error, such as a double die or a missed strike, it could become more valuable to certain collectors. These types of errors can increase the coin's price to a few dollars, depending on the rarity of the mistake. To sum it up, the 1988 1-cent coin, in most cases, is worth only its face value, or just a little more if it's in pristine condition. However, keep your eyes peeled for any minting errors, as they could make your penny worth more than you'd expect. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more coin content, and leave a comment below if you've come across any interesting 1988 pennies. We'd love to hear your thoughts. The penny has featured the profile of Abraham Lincoln since 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of his birth. This design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner and has remained one of the most recognized coin designs in U.S. history. The 1988 penny features Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back, a design that had been in use since 1959. The 1988 penny was made from a copper-plated zinc alloy material in 1982 to reduce costs, as the rising price of copper made the traditional copper composition too expensive. The 1988 penny weighed 2.5 grams and had a diameter of 19.5 mm, which was consistent with its size since the change in material. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced the penny in massive numbers. Over 7.5 billion pennies were minted across the Philadelphia and Denver mints combined. Most of these coins were made for general circulation, so the 1988 penny is not considered rare today. It's a common coin that can be found in many people's coin jars, wallets, or pocket change. The Lincoln Memorial design, created by sculptor Frank Gasparo, was featured on the reverse of the penny from 1959 to 2008. The image depicted the memorial in Washington, D.C., with Lincoln's statue visible inside. Memorial is an iconic symbol of Lincoln's legacy and was chosen to honor his contributions to the United States. The 1988 penny, like other pennies of its time, was a vital part of everyday transactions. Despite the fact that its value hasn't changed in decades, the penny holds a unique place in U.S. culture. In the late 20th century, there were discussions about the potential elimination of the penny, as the cost to produce it exceeded its face value. However, the penny has remained in circulation, largely due to its historical significance and strong public support for its continued use. As for its collectability, the 1988 penny isn't particularly rare, and its value is close to its face value unless it is in uncirculated or proof condition. There's also the possibility of finding a 1988 penny with a mint error, such as a double die or a missed strike, which can increase its value to a small extent. In conclusion, the 1988 penny represents a continuation of the classic design and material used in the U.S. pennies since the 1900s. While it may not hold significant value to collectors, it continues to be an essential part of the U.S. coinage system. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with more fun facts and insights into the world of coins.